Yo, 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 what is up, man? It's your boy. We are back, man. So we continuing on with this interview. If you haven't seen part 1, go check out part 1. If you haven't seen part 2, go check out part 2. And this is part 3. So basically, Stephen A. Smith and Draymond Green. Well, Draymond Green had a show, had a podcast, and he brought Stephen A. Smith on to talk about Skip Bayless. And the first video was Draymond Green just pretty much going in on Skip. The second video I made was Stephen A. Smith saying that he doesn't agree, but still defends him at the same time. And this is now the third part, and this is gonna be the last chapter of this part. So let's get it in, man. Let's go.
It still wasn't this. It was like, I stand on that. And that,
right.
Like I said, the world needs to hear that because, and I think another thing that I really didn't appreciate was, even after the fact on Undisputed the next day, it still wasn't this. It was like, I stand on that. And that,
right.
And it's just like, and that's where I think.
Well, that's where we're aligned. That's where we're aligned. Because see, I was more disappointed in the next day, only because, all right, this is what everybody's feeling. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, listen, because I was saying, Skip, I know you. You know, you better than that. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of what anybody else want to believe, I know sides of him I've seen. And I know he's better than that. It's like, yo, just give it up. You know, I shouldn't have sent that text last night. You know, that wasn't the time and the place to do it. That's all. But, you know, I can assure you, some people think that it's a prideful thing where he can't admit that he's wrong. I take.
Yeah, it's all pride and ego. He said what he said on Sunday. Monday, he came on live TV and apologized. Then Tuesday, when Shannon Sharpe came back, Shannon Sharpe said, yo, I hope you can delete the tweet. No, I'm not gonna delete the tweet. Nobody here at the company had a problem with it. When Monday, you said that the boss had a problem with it, and that's why he needed you to come on air and to apologize. But then the next day, you said that nobody had a problem with it. So you lying. Not only are you lying, then your pride and your ego is stepping up and saying, I'm not going to take down the tweet. I stand on what I said. So Skip Bayless is wrong all across the board, Stephen A. Smith. He's wrong all across the board, bro. Ain't no excuse for that.
Take it a step further. I don't think he thinks he was wrong at all. I think he was right with what he was telling Shannon the next day. You know, and usually I don't have time to watch it because I got my own show to do. But they came on a half hour earlier, and I knew what had transpired the day before, so I had to see if it was all right. And you know, then I reached out to him. I said, if you need to talk, I'm here. But he hasn't reached back, and I understand he's going through a lot right now.
Yeah, no, I respect that. And you being on the other side of that table and sitting in Shannon's spot, you know, like you said, Skip brought you onto the show. So at one point, you know, at one point I would believe he probably had more say in the show than you did. Then you kept ascending and ascending.
No, totally. I always deferred to him, Dre, because even though I got there and my star had ascended, and again, he had been beyond that point of going to games. He had done that for 30 so years or whatever. He wasn't doing that anymore. You know me. I love going to games. I love being inside that locker room. I can't as much as I used to because I got the daggone show to do and my obligations. But anytime I can show up to a game, I'll show up just so brothers can see me and talk to me.
Absolutely.
But with him, you know, so my star was ascending, but I was always mindful. He brought me here.
That's interesting, right? Skip Bayless seems to be the person in power in the beginning. But then later on, the co-host, the black person, seems to always prevail and outshine Skip Bayless. And I think Shannon Sharpe is starting to outshine Skip Bayless. And I think Skip Bayless sees that and he's trying to control that. So he's trying to be the star by any means necessary. I didn't really think about that until Stephen A. Smith just said that, right? Think about it, right? Every time Skip Bayless had a co-worker, a co-partner, it was a black guy. When Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith first started, Skip was the man. But then the power turned to Stephen A. Smith. Same thing with Undisputed. Skip is the man, but now the power is starting to shift. And maybe Skip sees that and he don't want that to happen again, just like it did on First Take. So maybe he's willing to disrespect his co-partner just to outshine him. Interesting, right?
That's his show. That's his show. And I never once took that away from him.
So do you think a part of Shannon feels that way now? Whereas like I could see that Shannon felt disrespected. I could see that Shannon was kind of hurt. And you could just see that it was so personal to him. Being that he's been on that same football field, he's been tackled that same way for 15 years.
I think that's what it is.
This was my credit score 3 months ago. And this is my credit score now.
3 months ago. Score now.
But I'm asking more so from the grand scheme. Like, so Shannon took the day off, right? And
Yeah.
Shannon spoke about why he took the day off.
Right.
But do you think Shannon is more handcuffed that Skip has more say in the show and that he has to suppress a little bit more? Or do you think that's just growth in life?
I think that's natural. I think that anybody in Shannon's position would feel that way. But what I would tell you is this, listen, I've been blessed and fortunate enough for First Take. We arrived. I arrived in the spring of 2012. We've been number one since, and I've been number one for 11 years. And Shannon and Skip have been the competition for the last 6. Let me be very, very clear with what I'm saying. I don't know Shannon that well. We've spoken a few times over the years. I have a lot of respect for Shannon Sharpe. I know it's not supposed to be popular to say because he's the competition man, damn all of that. He's a brother. I got love for him. I respect the hell out of him. And every time I see him, I greet him very fondly. And I will remind everybody, he's one of the greatest tight ends in the history of football. And he's a Hall of Famer. This ain't some scrub like I was. This brother was something special. Okay? And so to watch him in this business, trying to do what he's doing, I respect the hell out of him. And I can only imagine the kind of position that he found himself in light of Hamlin's injury. The only thing that I would say, if Shannon had come to me and asked my advice, for example, here's the only thing that I would say. That's your chair. You don't give it up for nobody. That's yours. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn if you were in the chair and had nothing to say. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you don't miss sitting in that chair because there's an audience out there that expected to see.
Yes.
But I understood him, like every single NFL player, present and former, that I've spoken to. Hearts was in the right place, going through a lot. I remember that time Kenny Smith, during the whole social justice movement, walked off the set of TNT because he didn't feel it was a good idea for him to be there. You remember that when Kenny Smith got up and turned around, right? Well, Kenny Smith will tell you, I called him and I said to him, my brother, I love you. That's my Queen's brother. His brother, Vincent Smith, used to train me for crying. Lost Italian Hall in New York City when I was trying to be half the player Kenny the Jet Smith was, okay? I idolized Kenny Smith and I love him like a brother. And I called him and I told him, which he would tell you. I said, brother, you sure that was the right decision? And he's like, Stephen A., I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I said, I get that, but that chair matters. Mm-hmm. We need to see you. And I often think about that when I think about myself. When you turn on First Take, it's one thing if I'm on vacation or I got a day off or something like that. But when some real stuff hits, you turn on First Take, you expect to see Stephen A.
100%.
And Stephen A. gonna show up. I'm gonna show up. And that's what I would encourage Shannon, Kenny Smith, or anybody, Shaq, Barkley, anybody else. We fought for centuries to have a voice. You got it. You don't give it up. That's my point.
All right, so there we go, man. Y'all leave a comment down below and y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But that is very interesting. When Draymond Green said, do you think, well, basically he said, do you think the power is shifting? Because when Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless was on the show, the power shifted from Skip Bayless to Stephen A. Smith. And Draymond was like, do you think that's what's happening now? I think that's what's happening now. And Skip Bayless sees that and he don't want it to happen again. So he's willing to do anything and everything to keep the momentum and to keep the attention on him instead of Shannon Sharpe. Interesting, right? Y'all leave a comment down below. Do you agree or disagree with what with what I just said, and let me know, do you agree or disagree with Stephen A. Smith? It's your boy Damn D signing out. Peace.